we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 17. Can you believe we've got this far? Episode 17. And welcome to, who's here? Johan and Munna.
Hello. Evening.
No Devon this time round.
Working late again.
He's all
She's doing coffee.
he's all tired out from the solo commentary from Friday.
Lots of tap water coffee, don't forget that.
Still trying to recover. And then
caffeine overdose.
And then caffeine overdose. And can just imagine drinking it in the cold. Oh no. But anyway, Devon, if you're listening, how's it going?
Hang in there, bud.
Welcome to Rob. It's
As always.
always a loyal listener.
But well done on his prediction, he actually got the winner spot on.
So we got gonna start off with TnB. It was the final round. It was technically round 4. We had to redo Mexico.
Round 3, but yeah.
Oh, round 3.
Mexico.
So we redid Mexico, and for 2 of the drivers in this podcast, not a good day for Alpha.
And once they second in the championship, you dropped way down.
Yeah, we were still probably still in with a fight for second in the championship.
Because first there was no contest, no way.
If we had a good both in the points result, could have got second in the championship. But that's not what happened, and neither of us got in the points or classified. So
good. Dropped to 7th. But the funny thing is, between 2nd and 7th, there's not a lot of difference. There's only a few points actually.
It was obviously the championship standings. 3-time champion Mata won it by quite a margin. What is that? 260 points to 195.
64.5 different gap there.
So then obviously Kimi second. I believe he came in second in another league as well. So runner up on 2 occasions. But you got to wonder if he couldn't have gotten closer if he didn't miss 1 or 2 races for silly reasons.
Champion, and I mean a couple of DNFs or did not join.
I mean when I say silly reasons, he sat out a race because 2 of his championship contenders weren't going to make it.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't want to get points that way. And it's like, oh no. That's when you need to get all the points you can get. Boinkies actually snuck in there for 3rd in the...
How's that? Reserve driver in 4th place.
And then a reserve driver coming up in 4th. There's Max 5th. 4th and 6th. 4th actually joined the championship late, did he? But
yeah.
Because Renault was gonna be a 1-man team, and look at that, they ended up winning the championship.
And just bear in mind, Nismax also missed a race, and he also then had to skip a race because of the tragic news that he got in the middle. Well, yeah, we literally were in the middle of a race when the news broke, so he also didn't finish that race. So Nismax also finishing strong from where you were. You were a lot lower down and ending up in the top 5.
So obviously that full field is Mata, Kimi, Boinkies, then Maverick, Nismac, Force, RZDV. What happened to my driver 1 teammate? Not Sebastian, 8th. Vino 9th and Jean 10th. He could have
done a lot better. He could have been higher.
Oh yeah, definitely. Things didn't go Sebastian's way. Also in the middle of the season, they missed a couple of races because of work, and
And now Sebastian, unfortunately, work again got better of him, and in the second half, things just didn't go his way.
Yeah,
And
sadly.
then in the constructors, Renault, not only did they win, they they hit.
Annihilated the field. That's big
Has
time.
has Merck hit that amount? 410 points.
They have.
They haven't done it.
He's a Renault.
I don't think Merck have done that in 10 rounds.
Nope.
410 points. That's
Not in
impressive.
10 points. Not in 10 rounds.
So then 265, Red Bull actually got second, and that was a one-man team.
Mostly it was one team because the other driver hardly showed up. There's a couple of reserve drives there from Maverick, which also helped. But in the end, Red Bull just managed to fight off Merck for second place.
We were talking about this the other day, and not Kimi did have a teammate. He was registered to drive with the league, and he was part of the league until the end, I believe. He never officially left. But he only pitched up once, and the ones that he pitched up for Red Bull was that one race that he decided, my championship contenders are not racing, I'm sitting this one out. So there was still only one Red Bull on track.
But also just on that, Mercedes, you talk about the two of you doubled DNF, also Mercedes doubled DNF on Friday, and they had the perfect opportunity to get second place. If they finished strong, they could have actually taken that second place from Red Bull.
Yeah, they could have.
Merck finished.
And there's less than 20 points difference, so it was up for grabs.
Merck finished up.
Missed opportunities.
Finished up third. And
actually
Alpha Tauri almost catching up there with Merck. And then Haas fifth, McLaren sixth. Ooh, wow.
2 points there between those two.
Alfa Romeo seventh. We beat Ferrari. Ferrari eighth. Williams ninth. And Racing Point 10th. That's almost
best
realistic.
Ferrari is Haas.
Yeah, basically the best Ferrari powered car is a Haas. That's wow. No, well, Renault proper that's what Renault wants come 2022. Like just sheer domination. And they reckon they've got that concept right, so maybe. Rob commenting on his season, saying that he choked badly.
Protea style.
Protea.
No one can choke worse than the Protea.
I know you can't say much for Protea Fire at the moment. It's more of a simmer.
Yeah, if you can give him that much credit.
It's maybe a bit of a simmer for the time being.
By that stage where the fire is just getting started, don't even have heat yet.
Let's not let this podcast go the way of cricket. Because, oh my word, there's so much I can talk about there, and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's right.
It's on that constructors before we get rid of this page, on the constructors Racing Point, what happened?
I don't know.
Racing Point, they fell apart.
Racing Point just
A lot of DNFs, even the last race, a double DNF. A couple of occasions where it was just one car on the grid and then still not bringing it into the point. And then the penalties, I think as a team they racked up a lot of penalties, if not the most.
I mean, just to put it into perspective, I personally finished 14th in the championship, and I have more points than Racing Point as a team.
Wow.
I have 84 points. Racing Point has 81.
As a team, and you just spoke about your own points.
A team that has a very fast driver in it.
And a previous champion, must be said.
Yeah, and a previous TnB champion. But not a good season for the pink car. Hopefully, obviously next season things are gonna look very different. got
Course, yeah, 3 teams and 3 drivers in the team again.
we'll have a somewhat different podcast for you next week. This week we're just going along with the normal podcast. Next week we're not going to have any MotoGP or any Formula One next weekend, so we're not going to have much to talk about. We haven't had a TnB race either, so really have nothing to talk about.
We're going to pretty much talk season 2 next week, and that's also when we're going to do a track review for season 2.
Next week we'll be talking season 2. What changes you can expect. We'll be revealing the teams, what they'll be looking like, and then we'll be doing a calendar draw. And basically the way
some big news as well, so it would be worth your while to stay tuned.
Basically the way that calendar draw will work is obviously there's 22 tracks on the game. We've used 10 of them already.
So those 10 will drop out, so we can select from the remaining 12.
We're not gonna no funny business. We've decided no funny business. Everything's going in the cap. If Monaco turns out to be round 1, guys, we still want a full grid for round 1. We don't want 10 guys on the grid for round 1, but Monaco is going to be in the cap. So if it comes out, it comes out. And we sort of decided since TnB since TnB hasn't done a Monaco race in forever, if the Monaco race does fall on the calendar, it'll be a night race.
There we go.
Oh, the Rock is now going. Yeah, hey.
So that's if it appears on our calendar, because obviously 10 rounds. There's going to be 12 tracks to draw from. So obviously 2 tracks will miss out, and then we haven't decided exactly yet. But from what I can imagine, going into the next season, those 2 tracks that we haven't done, we'll just sort of put them in like we did with the new tracks in season 1. We'll do like a round 1, round 6, just
so that we just cycle through all the tracks.
Yeah.
So if you don't get Monaco this season, you'll definitely get it next season. But maybe let's rather next time do round 5, round 10, not round 1, round 6, because Vietnam is a round 1. No, thank you. Never again.
Or what we'll do, we'll draw the track, and then somebody will draw a number, and that number will basically determine the position where it will be on the calendar. So if I draw Monaco for argument's sake, and we're going to draw 5, it will be round 5.
Yeah.
We can do it like that, just to spice it up a bit.
So we're gonna have can't tell you all of them off the top of my head, but just from looking at this season's calendar, there's a few interesting names that could come up there in the
Monaco,
cap. Obviously,
Australia, Austria.
Alright.
Monza, yes.
Yeah, we didn't do Spa, so still
Singapore.
Baku.
Another favorite.
Oh wow, Rob is loving next season.
I'm telling you.
Rob is loving next season. What other crazy tracks haven't we done in quite some time?
China.
Okay, well at least
Yeah.
China.
China, you're 100% correct.
We haven't done China in a long time. At least we've done Japan, so that's out of the way for quite some time.
And the USA.
And
USA is also done.
I'm gonna miss my new favorite track.
So is also Brazil that can be in the mix?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Brazil. And actually,
Canada can be in there.
those are 2 of my favorite circuits, Brazil and Austria. Love the short circuits. Can get very close in qualifying. So
Brazil, Austria, and I know you hate it. I also like Australia. Always did.
I actually really like Canada, so I wouldn't mind Canada.
Canada.
I wouldn't mind Canada. Wouldn't
I
mind.
wouldn't mind seeing that Grand Prix live. Forget about Monaco.
We'll see what happens. Rob is on his way because he forgot to charge his phone. That's it's not the smartest. Luckily this will be uploaded on YouTube later, and you can listen whenever you want. But let's start talking about what happened last weekend in motorsport. And we don't usually start this in such a low category, but we have to speak about it. We can't.
Moto3.
Highlight of the weekend for me, Moto3, Darren Binder gets his first victory.
And now both Binder brothers have their first win in their respective categories. Darren
Binder, it was a sweet moment. It took 92 race starts, so he's dropped it a few times from very very strong positions. So it was great to see, and now obviously following in the footsteps of his brother, and he's staying in Moto3 next year, but much better team.
Much better team, closer to a factory workshop team.
Much better team, and basically this team that he's going to, it's the Sepang Petronas team. Okay, this team's got links all the way up to the bike that Quattararo is riding. They've got a team. There's a Petronas bike in Moto2, and there's a Petronas bike in MotoGP. So if he can go there and do the business, and he can get in that Petronas family and work his way through Moto2 and into GP, could in the next 2 or 3 years. How long did it take Brad? He didn't stick around that long.
2 years. 2 years in Moto2.
Imagine both of them in MotoGP. Wow.
Two South African flags on the podium, just dominating. That would be quite funny. Like South Africa, and a little Italian flag in the corner. It's like, what happened to this sport? It's like Potchefstroom happened to this sport. So South Africa can't even take that. It's like that comes from one little town.
Funny enough, you talk about South Africa. That's actually South Africa in 2000. That's actually where world great Rossi made his debut in South Africa.
Who's that?
Rossi. His first race was actually in South Africa. All the way back in 2000. Did you think about it, already 20 years? Huh?
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane, 20 years on a bike, wow.
I think a few years later he managed to win the South African Grand Prix at Pakisa. He won it on I think it was a Repsol Honda at that time. That was a very long time ago. I mean, that track was MotoGP purpose built, and I don't even think it lasted its contract with MotoGP, because I think it had a 5-year contract with MotoGP, and I'm not sure it got all 5 years. So
I think it was only 2 or 3 races there. That's it. If it was that many.
That was it was a questionable choice. The problem they had with Kyalami, it had nothing to do with the layout of Kyalami. It had to do with where Kyalami was. Kyalami was in the heart of Midrand. And now, if you were going to put up all this temporary seating and whatever, and even if you could somehow get 100,000 people inside Kyalami, that's all fine. The entrance is a T-junction.
Yeah.
How are you going to get out?
It's literally a T-junction. There's this huge highway off-ramp, and everything is huge, and then when you get past like the first couple of Ks, that becomes a narrow little road, and it runs up to a T-junction, and that's the entrance of Kyalami. So
well, they are in the works of doubling it now. I'll be glad to report.
Ask our resident Kyalami guy.
That would be fantastic.
Right there, so you will know.
That would be fantastic, because you know that's exactly what that road looked like the last time we had F1 in the
But
early
imagine
90s.
also the residents there, what it's like for them come to race weekend.
Oh wow.
Doesn't matter what race it is, it's
Chaos.
a nightmare.
So that was the whole thing with MotoGP is it was going to draw the crowds, and Kyle Army didn't seem very friendly to that. So I said, right, what's another option? And decided, right, we'll go to Velkom. It's 3.5 hours away, and we've got all the space in the world to rebuild Goldfields Raceway, which was a very different racing track to Bekisa. It was extremely flat, and if you could basically go to the middle of the track and find a high point, like if you could stand on top of a truck or something, you could literally watch the cars go all the way around the race circuit. And it had a 1.2 kilometer back straight. Back there.
Welcome to the Free State.
That was called Goldfields Raceway.
Where there's nothing but field.
So
they had the space to do it like that.
So they decided they're going to build it there, and they demolished what was left of Goldfields Raceway. Wasn't much. The pits complex was a bunch of carports, and they built what was effectively, at the time, a Grade 1 circuit. It was actually F1 capable.
Sure.
They built an oval around the circuit that was it was basically American grade. It was they were trying to get a round of. It was back when Indy was trying to go international. And do you remember the kart series?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kart series had a race in Japan, and they had a race in Australia, and they had a race in Germany. They had races here and there. I think they even had a race at Brands Hatch. And yeah, the plan was we built that oval in the future hope of actually getting Indy.
Jeez.
So that would have been insane. And now that oval literally has weeds growing out of the tar. So
Yep.
yeah, it's completely gone to waste.
Sad how it happened. Yeah.
On more positive terms, the F1, the next 4 circuits. Johan, the next 4 circuits. We've got the Netherlands, which we haven't seen in ages. We've got Portimão, which we haven't been to. Then we've got San Marino, which we haven't been to in ages. And then what's after that? There's another one.
You sure Netherlands, you're not meaning the Eiffel Grand Prix, Nürburgring.
Yeah, and then we've got the Turkish Grand Prix. So
That's it.
the next 4 tracks.
2011 last time we saw Turkish?
2011,
Yeah.
2012, somewhere there.
Yeah. 2011 or 2012.
Yeah, that was a long
Good
time.
8-9 years ago, so that also would be a good return. And of course, Imola, I mean, that's been many years ago.
Yeah, Imola's been many years. Nürburgring's been a while. Portimão, well, for Portugal, it's 96. It's almost as long a break as it's been for South Africa. South Africa lost
Been
its
a
race in
long time.
93. Portugal lost its race in 96, and they've never been back. So it's the first time they're going back. Not going back to the original circuit. They're going to Portimão, which was built in 2008, I think. And it's actually the MotoGP commentators rated it as the best track in the world. So
honestly, this is me. And I know obviously the whole logistics and all the stuff behind it and all the contracts on. But now we're seeing tracks that we haven't seen for a while. And I think some of them actually went pretty well. Why don't we consider a bit of a rotation base? Because I know you can't add them all, that's too long of a season. But why just, rotate a little bit that you can see more big tracks again going forward?
I think it's funding wise.
That's it, I understand that, but it would be so damn nice if somebody can look at that to see some of these tracks back again.
No, it will be, but
it really comes down to a funding thing. Like if
it's
Kyle
always
Army, like if they ever return to South Africa, it would have to be on a major contract with Kyle Army.
That's it.
Like Kyle Army wouldn't sign anything less than like it would have to be a multi-year contract. It would be like 4 or 5
Like
years.
a 9-year for argument's sake, because
And-
that's a multi-year.
And then you need
Yeah.
something crazy like that, because you know your event is only going to become profitable after the third or fourth event.
That's it.
It's not going to be profitable the first or second time. So we can't take a 1-year contract. That's not going to be good. So like for Portugal, they've already admitted that the only way they're having this race is because of the current situation, and that fans shouldn't expect Formula One to return unless they're going to change their tone with the
That
tracks.
does get your hopes up high.
So if F1 ain't changing their tone, well, maybe another change there at the top management
Yeah,
of
big change there.
of F1. Domenicali was the boss of Ferrari, and he was the commercial director, I believe, during the Schumacher era. He's now taken over from Chase Carey.
Yeah.
So now we have a Liberty Media CEO who has a motorsport background. Maybe I'm being ugly. Was Chase Carey a driver? I don't know who was that guy.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know his background.
did he have a motorsport background? Like, I mean, that guy was the big boss of F1 for a while. So surely having someone there that has a better understanding of the sport, it can only be a good thing. It is kind of ironic that Ferrari vetoed Toto Wolff taking that job, and then a ex-Ferrari boss took the job.
Of course, running the F1. Funny, huh?
But I see that Lewis Hamilton even came out and said it's a good move for Farmer coming in to replace Chase Corey.
I think someone with a
Understanding,
motorsport
better understanding
background.
of politics, the technicalities, everything.
I think it's definitely better, but yeah, it would be great to see if they could do something better with their circuits, and because at the moment hosting a Grand Prix is so expensive that it just so happens the countries most likely to afford it are they're all your oil-rich countries that don't have this rich F1 heritage of an Imola or of a you know what I mean. We've got tracks here in Europe that we haven't visited in ages, and we're going to races in Bahrain that they can't fill the stands. So no, bring it back to Europe if that's where the fans are, and that's where the better circuits are. I mean, everyone enjoyed Mugello, everyone enjoyed the gravel at Mugello, but don't think we're going to see Mugello anytime soon again.
No.
Nope.
Especially after those restarts,
Hey.
they looked wow. They looked like some. I've seen stuff like that in lobbies. I've been part of it and I've spectated on it. But seeing it in an actual, I was like, what is going on? These guys crashed coming out of the safety car. So
A lot of banter after that. Something like just takes one idiot to mess up a restart. So I don't know if that was hinted at Valtteri, because Valtteri kept it slow till the last possible moment. But he was all within his rights to do that, because he was the pace car in front. So the guys at the back are the ones who didn't pay attention. But one of the most useless drivers was actually one who kind of narrowly avoided that one, but yeah, so that's just my opinion. The guy that's really useless, never rated him when his career he had a career, he left and then came back. He left obviously under dark cloud, also his driving styles, and always met up in actions or whatever. So unfortunately guys, I don't really rate Romain Grosjean.
I don't think you're gonna get too many people to
sign in
viciously. I don't think you're gonna find anyone who's gonna viciously defend Romain Grosjean, and be like, "No, you're wrong." No. I think even French people have like better French drivers than Romain Grosjean. Like you can support Gasly, you can support Ocon. Technically, you can support Leclerc.
There was a Lazy was never a champion, but yeah, Lazy was more reliable. You could actually bet on him more than Grosjean.
Was Lacey French or French Canadian?
I always remember French. He always drove under the French flag as well.
Can't remember why I remember French Canadian.
The only French Canadian I remember was Villeneuve.
Yeah, Villeneuve. Yeah. Villeneuve, Villeneuve came into the championship in '96 and did an amazing job as a rookie. Finished runner-up in the championship.
And won it in '97.
In '97 he won it. Okay.
'96 and '97 Williams. I mean, Damon Hill and then the very next year.
But
Villeneuve,
you know,
era where Williams were brilliant.
I was watching this thing on Williams the other day, and you know, that Jacques Villeneuve move could have been Williams' biggest mistake. Because basically that move caused Adrian Newey to leave Williams. Because he was tired of it. When it happened with Mansell, he was new in the team. But he went to Frank Williams and he was like, listen, if I'm going to be part of this team, if I'm going to be a big part of this team and design your cars, I need to know about driver changes. So Frank said, not a problem. It's not going to happen again. And then it did happen again. With, basically with Senna in '94. It was another mess. And then when it happened with Hill replacing Villeneuve, Newey was like, you know what, I'm done. Because Newey was also mentoring Damon Hill that season.
Yeah, well, you mean the other way around, Villeneuve replacing Hill.
Yeah, so he was
Hill
like...
was champion and literally a season or two later he was in a different car.
And if you think about it,
and a lower car,
he left at the end of '96, but he had to finish designing the 1997 car. And then he left. He went to McLaren in '97. So in 1997, his Williams won the championship. But in '98 and '99, his new designed McLaren won the championship.
I was just about to say, who won 98?
98 and '99 was Adrian Newey's McLaren.
McLaren.
So
and I mean, look at Red Bull many years later, where Adrian Newey, look at championship winning cars.
Yeah.
One of the...
I mean, two designers that come to mind. Two designers, if you just on top of my head. Rory Byrne and Adrian Newey.
Oh, yes. And...
both had championship winning cars. And Adrian Newey was several different teams.
There is rumours, and Marco keeps on shutting them down. But there are rumours in the paddock that Adrian Newey could be on his way.
Oh boy, to Aston.
It does not come as a surprise. And remember, I know a lot of people have been saying this is nonsense, and I even got slapped for it when sharing some news. Yeah, it's false news. But you know the saying, where there's smoke.
Listen.
And I keep on hearing possible rumors because remember, Merck also were mentioning about cost and stuff, and if going forward, we're not going to be in F1 long, you heard that already. Then there's also about Toto. So there's a lot of speculation because remember, Toto also bought shares in Aston Martin. So there's, watch this space. That's going to be like a dream team again. If Newey's going to go, imagine having Toto Wolff. And I mean, we all know Danny Stroll is not scared to splash out money. And now you already have a 4-time world champion as well driving your car.
I mean, this started off as a bit of a joke. And it was a guy who bought a racing team, and his son was driving one of the cars. But this could become very, very serious. Okay.
Look at the form
this season already. You know, he says, you know what, Toto, you're obviously good at what you do. Come and run my team. 4-time world champion in the car. Get Adrian Newey to come design the car because Marco and all the politics there at Red Bull, surely it must be getting to you by now. Come here, we will let you design what you want.
And what can Stroll not learn from Vettel? in the process.
And I mean, he's proven he's got talent this season. He's finished ahead of Perez multiple times.
Yes.
And I think he's ahead of him in the championship. So we actually just skipped right over MotoGP. Sorry, MotoGP. We'll get back to you if there's time at the end. Yeah, where is it in the championship? Yeah, Stroll is just the. Oh yeah, he's just ahead of Perez. Wow, 57 points to 56.
But remember, Stroll DNF'd at the last race.
Yeah.
And the race before that.
And of course, which is best in the middle.
Just looking at the.
What he said was, fill the tire burst.
Yeah.
Interesting championship standings when you consider the guy in 10th is a race winner this season. Gasly in 10th, then Perez and Stroll doing better than their TnB counterparts, 9th and 8th. Leclerc somehow 7th. He's doing well with that. Where's his teammate? He's not in the top 10. I don't have him on this list. Then Ricciardo also doing much better than Ocon. And Albon, for all the hate he's got, he's still in 5th, but he's behind Norris.
Yeah,
he's still hanging on to 4th in the championship. Like Albon should be 4th. Like in that car, he should be 4th and a heck of a lot closer to Verstappen. Not Verstappen 100 and I can't read that 128 points, and then Albon 64. That's and then then obviously Verstappen 3rd, Bottas 2nd, Hamilton 1st. And if you're into weird stats, the gap between 1st and 2nd, Hamilton and Bottas, is 44 points.
And done it, but not tremendously.
And the gap
moderated, we could have capitalized.
And the gap between Bottas and Verstappen in 3rd is 33 points. So
and the gap from 1st to 3rd is 77. All their racing numbers.
Kind of weird. And I can't tell you where Vettel is because unfortunately I only have a list of the top 10. So what I can let me see where is that list? I had a list of everyone. Oh, there it is. So actually Giovinazzi 11th, Magnussen 12th, Vettel 13th, Kimi 14th.
Oh wow.
So Vettel actually finished amongst the smattering of Ferrari customer cars. Some of them in front, some of them behind, but yeah. Then Norris.
But just shows you,
Norris
15th. Is Ferrari really that bad, or is it literally just a matter of Vettel's heart not being in it anymore? Because come on, look at what Leclerc did with that car.
I think the Ferrari is not a race winner. It's not even a
No,
podium
not a race
finisher.
winner. Definitely not.
But
look at the difference between the two drivers.
Leclerc is still wringing its neck, and I think Vettel isn't wringing its neck anymore. I think he's like, yeah, whatever. If you give me a car to compete, I'll race it. If you give me a rubbish, I'm just gonna drive it around for the day and pick up my salary. So I don't think he's too worried. He knows he's out of this championship, and that's not a race-winning car. So, and he's not going to be there next season. So, yeah, I think that position says a lot about how he's feeling in the team, because there's no way he couldn't pass an Alpha and a Haas.
And maybe, just maybe, another situation like with Red Bull, where there's a clear preference in one driver.
Another thing I've loved about this season has been the midfield. It's been really up and down. We've had races where McLaren have just dominated. In this race, it was very much Renault. McLaren nowhere. Obviously, Sainz, we saw what happened with Sainz. Everyone saw what happened with Sainz. That was at the beginning of the race. And then Norris nowhere in 15th. So no points for McLaren. And then Renault 5th and 7th. So good result for them. And Ricardo getting closer and closer to that podium, but will he get one in yellow?
Renault moving in the right direction finally.
Oh, just in time for their rebranding.
That's it, and Alonso would love seeing this.
This is exactly what Alonso wants to see. He might not have a race-winning car, but he might have a car he can raise some eyebrows at certain tracks.
And with his expertise, they can hopefully develop it even better.
My only thing is, okay, Ocon was away from the sport for a year, okay, and he's battling to get back into the swing of things. Yeah, you've got Alonso coming in. He's been racing Dakar. He's been racing IndyCar. Will he adjust as quickly as what people hope he will? I don't think so.
I'm gonna say he's Fernando Alonso.
I think he's got a different mentality compared to your Ocons.
I think if he outqualifies Ocon once or twice, he will break him very quickly. So I think he's quicker than Ocon actually. We'll see what happens when. But Ocon's not challenging Daniel Ricciardo for me. So
no. It's nice seeing the youngsters coming through, but always nice to see now and then how the old topies still show him a trick or two.
It's a bit disappointing for all the Renault Academy drivers in Formula 2 who were hoping for that drive, but they're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Nobody
confirmed. Talk about F2, the appearances next week in free practice 1. Some F2 drivers getting the opportunity to show what they can do in an F1 car.
No, I was still getting to that, but
yeah, that's why I don't want to mention names.
But we got see one in the Haas, one in the Alpha. Mick Schumacher, he'll be taking the cockpit of Antonio Giovinazzi for free practice 1, and then obviously Ilham Calot. He will be in the Haas of Grosjean. So
not a bad move.
They will be getting a free practice 1 test. That will also be their F1 debut officially. So F1 weekend debut, and then another one that's confirmed. The only thing that's not confirmed is for what car. So we don't know if he'll be driving an Alpha. We don't know if he'll be driving a Haas. But Robert Schwartzman will be getting a free practice 1 in Abu Dhabi. So he will also get his practice session just a little later on in the season. For those of you who don't follow the lower categories, Schwartzman won the F3 title in 2019, and for a very long time he led Formula 2 this season. So the championship. So it would be quite impressive if you went from Formula 3 to Formula 1 in 3 years.
Oh yeah.
That's insane. So
unless you're like Max, who just skips all the junior formulas from karting and jumps into an F1 car.
Is that really? I didn't know that.
Really? Max came from karting straight into Formula 1.
And he took that aggressiveness with him. And he just turned it on immediately.
That is insane. How did he
Max Verstappen was not in Formula 3 or Formula 2.
And that is obviously why we have all these procedures now, so that we don't get every second 15-year-old. Because Marco would be going nuts.
Yeah.
They probably... Oh, wow. So, he started racing what feels like ages ago. It feels like he's been in the sport forever, and he's only like 22? I'm not even sure how old he is, but...
I think he's 20.
It's insane.
21 or something? Yeah.
And imagine he had been in a more competitive car until now. He would have a lot more than whatever it is, seven race wins or whatever it is.
Championship winner by a long shot.
Obviously,
I still think he'll be able to claim it.
Obviously,
If Red Bull can just do something what they did when Vettel were dominating, then they sure have the ability to. But I think there's also just too many politics also happening at the moment.
Just go through the F1 constructors. It's obviously Merck. No surprises. 366 points to Red Bull's 192. So Red Bull is clearly the second best team in the sport right now. So the top three teams that we've come to know over the last couple of seasons seems to have disappeared. It's now Mercedes and Red Bull. McLaren still holding on to third in the championship, which is really impressive. Racing Point in fourth, but just 2 points separating them. Renault in fifth. You know how many constructors can take third in the championship here?
Yeah.
There's 3 of them within 7 points.
Sure.
And then Ferrari is behind the likes of Renault, Racing Point, McLaren, and Red Bull.
You have a better chance of betting on any of them compared to Ferrari.
And they're actually and Alpha Tauri is not far from passing Ferrari too. Not a good day for the other Ferrari teams though. Alfa Romeo just 4 points, Haas 1, and Williams, well, enough said. Nothing for Williams.
And Russell still went for soft tyres very late and still couldn't get that fastest lap. He still went to Bottas on the used tyres.
Still shows that Williams has got some time to find.
But I didn't know if it was for politics as well. Imagine you in a Merc engine taking the fastest lap from Merc. Do you think Toto would have been happy with that?
Probably would have said to Bottas, okay, if you do bad again, we're just going to put George in.
Yeah, well, why not? Because George has also been wringing the neck of that Williams. He's been really trying hard to, but yeah, with the equipment he has, you can't expect much.
God, I'd love to see George in a Mercedes Benz, but
Oof.
he's not. I don't think he's going there during a Hamilton Mercedes era.
Yeah.
And
maybe a Hamilton replacement if it could come down to that.
I just
but
hope.
You stay not first as teammate.
I just hope that if it means Hamilton is going to indeed stay at Merck for the next couple of years, I hope that Russell doesn't turn into an Ocon.
Yeah.
Where he's, okay, now I'm tired of driving for Williams, I need to do something else. And like I said earlier, Toto's like, oh, you can come sit here in the pits. Because that's what Ocon did, and I think it's damaged his career, because he was much quicker when he was a Force India driver. You know, and he was giving Perez all sorts of hell. And we haven't seen that with Ricciardo. He's not quite the same. It's almost like not being that race fit that's taken a little bit of the sting out of him. Obviously, the next 4 circuits, they're going to be interesting. We've got a bit of a weird weekend now. We've had these double headers and triple headers, and got a weekend with
MotoGP on the same weekend, or at least F1 or MotoGP. So you continuously had a weekend with some motor race.
This time we've got nothing. So we're going to be on a bit of a break. But when F1 does come back, we've got the next 4 circuits are going to be very interesting. And quite frankly, I can't wait. And the best one is actually going to be, as much as I'm looking forward to Portugal, the best one is actually going to be Imola. And not because of the track, because of the weekend layout. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. At Imola, for the first time, they're going to run basically a This is going to be a simulation of what 2022 weekends are going to look like. We're removing the Friday. So, on Saturday, you're going to have practice 1, or as we know it today, practice 3.
Yeah.
And then after practice 1, you have a bit of a break, and you got qualifying. So, you're just going to have the one session. You're going to have everybody trying to get around the racetrack, trying to get as much data as they can in that one session. You've got one session to do your race pace, to do your quali pace, to do everything, and it's going to be interesting because a few teams might get it wrong, and if some of your top teams get it wrong, then could have an interesting week.
You can have Monza all over again.
We have to go back to Italy for a crazy result.
Imagine that. Imagine Imola in exactly the same feed. That would be awesome. Mugello already also had his own craziness attached to it as well.
We can have
just for different reasons.
Basically the 3 that were on the podium in Monza. Who were there again? That was obviously Gasly, Sainz, and
Stroll.
And Stroll.
Not very strong. You got the right car.
What about in Imola? Their teammates get the podium.
Now we're talking about really weird.
So then it would be Perez, Kvyat, and Norris.
And Perry, that would be a brilliant way for him to finish.
It'd be a bit of a slap in the face to Aston Martin, and one more like putting his hand up for Haas, like, hello, I'm still here. Now you're looking at all the juniors, but I'm experienced. So that door is still not shut, by the way. So
talk about Haas. I believe the best way for Haas is to get rid of both of their drivers.
Oh yes.
At this point, I mean, what did I say earlier? I can't remember now, but when I saw the championship, I think Haas had 4 points. Was it 4?
Yeah.
Was it 1?
No,
Alpha had 4 points.
I
can't even remember. I need to look.
No, Haas has only got 1 point.
Let me just try and
Alpha
find.
has 4.
Oh yeah.
Come on, correct me if I'm wrong. Since they entered his ass, they had those 2 drivers.
So
yes.
So Alfa Romeo, 4 points, and they're supposed to be. Alfa and Haas are both affiliated to Ferrari, but not in the same way. Okay, so Haas has more of a. When it comes to the technical, they're supposed to have more. So Alfa's actually beating them, and that's not supposed to happen. The order is supposed to be Ferrari, Haas, Alfa. But just 1 point between those 2 drivers. So why not, replace them both? Put both Ferrari Academy drivers in there. You're going to probably pay them next to nothing. And why are you worried about having 2 rookies in the team when you've got 2 experienced drivers who have just got 1 point over the season?
And who also have a history of tripping over each other.
Because, I mean, if that's the case, if you're getting 1 point over the season, then you shouldn't be too worried about having rookies, because they're making rookie mistakes, and they're not rookies. So,
maybe these rookies have more better heads on their shoulders and they're actually going to bring in points. Never say never.
Well, crazy prediction, you heard it here first. Guthrie Steiner decides you're both fired. Brings in a Ferrari Academy driver and Perez.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, I think you make way with the 1 Haas driver for a Academy driver, and then you get rid of the other one to save Perez.
An experienced driver to mentor that Academy driver.
Because if I'm being honest, I'd rather see Perez in the sport. He's done more, and Magnussen and Grosjean. I'm sorry, but they're not listening, so I don't have to be worried. They're clowns. They're freaking clowns.
But they're crap. They're not performing. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting there and filling seats.
I would much rather have, like 2 or 3 rookies coming through every other season from Formula 2 than just having guys that sit there year after year after year doing absolutely nothing. They should rather, if it's not working out and there's no decent car contract on the horizon, move on. And what do you think Grosjean can be the next Le Mans winner?
No,
not Grosjean.
He'll crash and blame Ericsson.
You'll crash on.
Ericsson probably wasn't even spectating and he would complain.
Crash on lap 1 of Le Mans, 24 hour. That's that won't.
Under a safety car. Don't forget that.
Oh wow, crash under the safety car in lap 1 of Le Mans. I don't even understand how that scenario plays out. But we've actually
very torrential rain. We start the race under a safety car, and here goes Mr. Grosjean. Skis off, bang, into the race. Car gone. Would ever forget about Baku under a safety car?
Obviously, there are a few junior categories that are still taking place this weekend. We've got your regional Formula 3 at Mugello. Arthur Leclerc, he'll be taking part in that. He's currently second in the championship. That's another Ferrari Academy driver. I have no idea where he's going. There's only 2 Ferraris. And there's so much talent coming through. And Arthur Leclerc is actually second in the championship of that championship, the Formula 3 regional, and first in the championship. I'm so sorry, but I can't remember his name right now. But he's a Ferrari Academy driver too. So yeah, there's a lot of these guys.
I think that's a problem all over with Academy at the moment. A lot of talent good, a lot of talent coming through, but there's only 2 seats to fill, potentially 1. But yeah, it's tough.
Where Ferrari have an advantage over Red Bull is Red Bull had they had their 2 Toro Rossos and then they had their main team. Whereas Ferrari, they've got all this talent coming through and they've virtually got 2 teams aligned to them. So make use of it. Maybe give Haas a bit of a discount there on the engines and say, but listen, one of the seats is ours, or whatever the case is. Work something out and get these guys into F1 and
similar to what they have with Alfa Romeo, where 1 seat is Alfa and 1 seat is Ferrari.
Yeah, basically do that with Haas and have. That's why I say, if they do that with Haas and then you get 1 academy driver to replace 1 driver, and then they're like, you know what, we can't let Perez fall out of F1 and go to Indy. We got to grab this guy while he's still here. And they grab.
I can tell you one thing for sure.
Grab Perez.
Vars was like Alpha, 1 seat Alpha, 1 seat Ferrari. Those 2 drivers would have already been split.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's not the case now. That would be obviously a change in their agreements, because at the moment there's no Ferrari seat there. So I don't think Magnussen or Grosjean are Ferrari drivers. So, because they would have been out the door quite some time ago.
Definitely.
I mean, look at the treatment Vettel got, and he's a 4-time world champion.
And I mean, Ferrari have no bloody problem to axe their team principles. I mean, come on.
Well, apparently Benotto is still there because Ferrari have no, what was the word they used?
No suitable replacements.
They said currently there is no alternative to Benotto. And I was like, that is bad. Are you saying this guy is running the team so badly and you don't have
anyone better?
Someone at Ferrari, someone from, I don't know, there's Ferrari Le Mans teams and there's, Ferrari, outside of F1. Are you telling me there's not somebody somewhere? No, there's no alternative.
But even if you look at his predecessor, Mauricio Arrighi, he had a much better relationship as well with Vettel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think with Bonotto coming in, that's where things already started going a bit south. So this was actually something that came in maybe for a bit longer than what we anticipated.
Gonna be interesting, and we're gonna have a break this weekend to reflect. I'll be so starved for motorsport that I'll probably go look for those. I'll probably go look for those feeder series races, and I'll be watching those.
No racing at all. That means, like you say, no MotoGP, no F1,
no TnB.
No TnB League racing. It's absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So we've actually filled our hour, but before we go, so like we just said, nothing this weekend. So we've decided next week's podcast it's gonna be all about TnB F1 2020 Season 2, and we're gonna be showcasing the deliveries and the cars one by one, the teams one by one, and then we're gonna do a calendar draw, and 12 tracks we haven't been to yet. 10 of them will be on the calendar. So
and of course, this Friday starts a 2-week countdown to the start.
Yeah, that's right. So it's gonna be a weird Friday actually.
Yeah, it is.
Imagine. And think about it. If
Without that build up to qualifying in the race and joining the party chat like an hour before, it's just gonna be weird.
But season 1 of 2020 joined the last season of 19 almost immediately. There was no break. Now all of a sudden there's 2 weeks break in between, so this is going to be weird.
Yeah, no, I think it had something to do with another round of something. And then I'm not sure. I still think there was supposed to be a 1 week in between, and we were supposed to start again. But I'm not sure what happened there with the calendar. But yeah, we found our way to 2 weeks.
And of course, the big thing coming up is that race of pace.
Yes.
The third installment of race of pace.
Can actually hand that over to Muna, because he's got more details on the race of pace than any of us.
The invites went out today. I'm not going to disclose anything without asking Dunk, but as far as I know, the track will be Monza. I'm not too sure on race distance at the moment. It might be a 50 to 100% race, so looking forward to it. And that will be on the 11th of October.
Awesome stuff, and then that's
Of
obviously...
course, that's for Sunday just before we start, and that was the plan always to start the new season after race of pace. So the focus can be there, and after they can focus on the start of season 2.
And then that will obviously be the third iteration of this race, and we'll see how it goes.
Of course, you yourself have the privilege of participating in the inaugural race of pace.
And I commentated in the second one.
That's it. So you've seen both sides.
I haven't got an invite for the third one, but no, it's okay. I'll give it a skip.
Well, Muna has the opportunity to race in both.
So that
So they have to turn the last one down.
That will be at Monza, and obviously the invites went out earlier, so you know who you are if you're racing, and you can start preparing for that circuit. It's not as easy as it looks.
No.
When you really start practicing it with a heavier fuel tank, those getting on the power out of those chicanes, it's not as simple as it should be. So
Ascari always catches out people, and we saw it last season at TnB with 100% races, as you said now, full tank of fuel, and we saw quite a couple of cars go out last season when we did Monza.
So obviously we'll see how that goes, and then I think think the other leagues are also done. So everybody's basically on hiatus, and we're going to have that race of pace, and then there's a break in the middle, but that's, I think it adds to the build up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
of course, it's coming back there. With Monza, just keep in mind, it's as much as you think Ascari, the Lesmos can also catch you out, and don't forget good old Parabolica. That's my advice.
Well, at least if we announce the calendar next week and Monaco does land up being round one, you've got time to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take it. You can practice that and race your pace.
I don't know.
You have no excuse.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much practicing Monaco is going to help me, because every corner is followed by a barrier. So it's like, oh no, I only hit the barrier 3 times on the last lap. That was great. There's like that's how I do my records at Monaco.
First, see how little you can get. You can run into the barrier. From there, you can focus on speed or whatever. But yeah, that's an achievement on its own, not to go into a barrier.
Guys, if you did join at some stage, thanks for watching. This will be on YouTube later, and you can listen to it there. If you did listen to it there, just let us know. Leave a comment, and
you can also follow TnB on Instagram.
And remember, next week we're going to do the calendar draw. So if you want to see it live, if you're that desperate to start practicing round one, you'll hear it here first, and then obviously again it'll be uploaded to YouTube a little later after that. So we do have we are on it's not, I need to update our little TnB Podcast banner over there, because it says follow us on, and it doesn't have Instagram. We're on Instagram now, so just search Turbos and Bullets on Instagram, and you'll find us there. And we're actually a little bit more active on Instagram than we are on Twitter lately. So who's our social media manager?
That would be. I wonder why.
We need a social media manager.
Well, the closest we have to it at the moment is you.
Me? Okay, well that's why Twitter has been.
I would say you, yeah.
That's why Twitter has been so inactive. I think we need to get we need to get somebody who's really good with not missing tweets, and Devon's pretty good at it.
I think Devon loves Twitter.
We should see if we can get Devon to run the TnB Twitter account, because he's a lot more Twitter friendly than I am. But I can't express myself in 160 characters. Is it 160? I don't even know if it's 160. I just made that number up. But
like the old SMS characters back
I think that's why I said 160. I think the SMS was 160. But
it was also very little on Twitter, and in recent times they increased it a bit.
I remember if your SMS was too long, they charged you for 2 messages.
Yeah, even if it went 1 letter.
Because you could only have 160 characters, so if your message was 200 characters, it charged you for 2 SMSs.
And then phones became a bit more clever. You could type that extra message for free. It will show you it's not into a second or third message, and then it will send it as 3 or 2 messages, or how many you typed. So you could have typed your whole message and just break it up in different batches of 160.
Oh no, that was...
And then came multimedia.
That was great times. That was not great times at all. That was terrible times. Especially since my very first cell phone, when you were typing a text, it only had 2 lines of text on it at a time. 2 lines.
Yeah.
I don't think you should expose your age now.
No. You have no idea what phone it was, so it's okay.
You couldn't even type a message on your screen like today.
It
and then a keyboard as well. I mean, yeah.
Could have been a pep. Could have been a pep phone from 3 weeks ago. I haven't given away anything actually. You'd be amazed what you can buy on the side of the street. I've actually seen fake Samsung Galaxies. It's quite an impressive feat. You simply peel off the exterior and reveal the Chinese phone beneath it.
Yeah, Hong Kong.
Well, that's. I'll let you guys say your final goodbyes. If you have anything you want to add, Sebastian, before we go, wanna add just before we go SSR.
SSR on Thursday night will be at Spa. Very challenging track. I know a lot of Oaks are putting a lot of time in for that race, so I think it's also going to be a very good one come Thursday night.
And of course, Jonathan still on his own in the comps box, of course.
Sadly, yes.
I'll be back hopefully
Sadly.
next week. You will as well. Oh, you enjoy yourself.
You should be happy to have the tone of my voice commentating on the insanity of your races. I sort of balanced them out. Because I commentate.
I want to say Gasping is insane, but Gasping is driving a completely different race. It shows a different race skill in SSR than when he's doing a TnB at the moment.
I'm
two different people driving.
I'm almost starting to believe that his SSR pace is what is affecting his F1 pace. I think he's spending so much time in those cars that when he jumps in an F1 car, he's just he's not clicking with that car quick enough.
And the judge is the same because it's no secret that he actually prefers that game more than F1 at the moment.
Because I mean, all you need to do is go do a few laps of Zandvoort and then jump on ACC and try to do the lap exactly the same. And it's a very different game. It's a very different cars, and obviously if that's what you're spending all your time on, and that's what you're used to, you're not going to be getting the maximum out of the F1 car. So
no, because sadly ACC uses laser scan tracks, whereas Codemasters doesn't. So you can't even rely on track knowledge from ACC on Codemasters. The two tracks may look the same.
We'll see how that goes, and hopefully Gavin does have a better F1 season than he did in season 1, and hopefully the new changes that are coming next season will push the teammates to work together and finish races and get in the points. Last time we had something similar, the guys teamed up nicely. So we'll speak to you guys again next week.
Yeah, and just don't forget, you want to tune in next week, because with a track review, a track, of course, draw or reel or whatever, is a big announcement which I'm going to leave for the podcast. I'm not going to do it on the group during the week or so. We're going to leave it for next week, Tuesday. So you would want to be tuned in live.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.